T minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes. T minus 3 minutes. T minus 2 minutes. T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 0.
Yeah. Look, black and blue lives. Yeah. Hey, that's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, black and blue lives. Yeah. Hey, that's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, podcast lit. I think we got a hit. Yeah. Hey, black and blue lives. Yeah. Look, we got Prince Blue and Steph talking black and blue lives. Yeah. The black and blue lives. Yeah. It's Steph and Blue.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? What is up? It is Black and Blue Lives podcast. Believe it or not, I am so amped up because I had a whole show based around facts and myths about what you think you know about cops, and this whole William McNeil thing happened, and it threw the whole show through a loop. But it actually fits in because one of the myths that I wanted to talk about was that cops get away with everything, and that cops are gang members, and that cops were picked on, and all the stuff that you normally hear. But before we get into that, I want to welcome you to the Black and Blue Lives podcast. I hope everybody is doing well, and this is gonna be a show that's not for your feelings. I started to wear my fuck your feelings hat, but I felt like I needed to kind of be, as I step into academia and all that other good stuff, I felt like I needed to be more, I don't want to say let's buy, but I didn't want you to get lost in, I didn't want you to lose the message because of my hat or what I was wearing, or any type of antics that I was going to be doing. But first of all, with that being said, welcome. And I want to welcome my partner in crime, my patrol partner, my ace, Jay Step. What's going on?
What's up, brother?
Nothing, man. You know, you and I, we want this. We're ready for this, and so let's just get into it. So, for those who don't know, unless you've been living on the rock, a viral video has been going around, and it's based off of William McNeil. Let me give you an overview of the incident. On February 19th, this year, Jacksonville Sheriff Deputy D. Bowers pulled over 22-year-old William McNeil Jr. reportedly for not using headlights and not wearing a seatbelt. A cell phone video recorded by McNeil captured Bowers smashing the driver's side window and punching McNeil in the face as he remained seated, then repeatedly striking him while other deputies pulled him from the vehicle. Now, I want to show you the video that went viral first, which was recorded by McNeil himself and released by McNeil himself. Take a listen.
So what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still.
Before I go on, I want you to know that this is a longer video. The actual video that McNeil shot, I'm going to play it to where the video that McNeil released to the media, where it started.
Hard to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor?
This is where the video that McNeil released that got everybody up in arms. This is where it started. So all that other stuff before that, this is where he started the video.
Huh? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here. I'm here. What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now. All right.
Oh, no, don't. Get on the ground.
your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. What's wrong with you?
I was putting my hands behind my back.
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
I'm fucking talking shit, bro. I was doing it, bro. What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No, bro.
Yes, bro.
You
Yes.
have a lawful reason, bro.
Big knife center right here too.
You gonna throw me one like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
That's not how it works.
Too late. It ain't gonna too late.
When they ask you to step out of the vehicle, you should have done that shit.
Sir, your partner didn't even ask.
Marijuana in his right pocket.
Yes, it is.
So why close the door if you see him pull up?
Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong, sir. Can you back me up to the car so I can clean up?
Shut up.
You bugging my shit, sir.
When he pulled me up.
Okay, now that was the video that McNeil released that went viral and got everybody up in arms. That was his video. That was now. I want to tell you about McNeil's account versus police claim. McNeil, who was wearing the seatbelt, repeatedly questioned the headlight requirement since it wasn't raining and asked for a supervisor. He denies ever reaching for anything in the car. Bowers, the officer reported, however, claimed that McNeil reached for a knife on the floor. Now, what I also want to play you right now, and this video is per Officer Tatum. Shout out to Officer Tatum. I want to show you the lead up to what actually happened when Officer Bowers pulled him over, the actual body cam footage of what happened. So take a look.
How do they make these people?
Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor.
Step out of the vehicle.
Step out of the vehicle.
Right now, you're under arrest for resisting. Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit, or we are going to break the window.
There's a traffic stop being conducted. You're required to comply.
I said, so what I did wrong?
Yeah.
He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like,
Okay.
there's multiple people headlights.
Okay, that's still a legitimate reason to pull somebody over.
Okay, now that was the part that I wanted to show you. That was the lead up to it. That was the lead up to it. Now I want to show you the clear video of showing both sides of what we saw in the video.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all, and then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. No, don't.
Stop fighting.
Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. What's wrong with you?
I was putting my hands behind my back.
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
I'm fucking talking shit, bro. I was doing it, bro. What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No, bro.
Yes, bro.
You
Yes.
have a lawful reason,
Big
bro.
knife center right here too.
You gonna throw me one like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
That's not how it works.
Too late. It ain't gonna too late.
When they ask you to step out of the vehicle, you should have done that shit.
Sir, your partner didn't even ask.
Marijuana in his right pocket.
Yes, it is.
So why close the door if you see him pull up?
Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong, sir. Can you back me up to the car so I can clean up?
Shut up.
You bugging my shit, sir.
All right. Now, I just want to give y'all some quick takeaways, and then me and Step is going to break it down. The cell phone video showed Officer Bowers punching McNeil while he was seated with his hands visible. Bowers reported claims that McNeil reached for a knife, but the video evidence did not clearly support that. It does not clearly support that. McNeil was wearing a seatbelt and repeatedly asked for a supervisor. No criminal charges have been filed against the officers. Internal administrative investigation is still ongoing. Officer Bowers was placed on paid administrative leave, and Bowers was also McNeil suffered a concussion, facial injuries, and that's pretty much it right now. And I got a couple more videos I'm going to play, but we want to break down this video and then we'll get into more of the other nuances of it. So, Step, we've been viewing this video over and over and over. You've talked to your people, I've talked to my people. Yes, police officers have people. That's the beauty about being a retired police officer. You can actually call around and you can get information on what went down. So, Step, after reviewing this video, talking to your people, what is your verdict here?
So, I'm going to look at it like, as a supervisor, one of my responsibilities was to review videos of, I mean, most of the time I was involved in the use of force, so it was easier to be out there, or to be out there and a supervisor, but to review it like a supervisor. So, and to your point a minute ago, I called around. I got some connections. We all do, and there's more to the story than meets the eye. I will say, just that little clip the suspect played, it looks like, oh shit, they bitch smacked him in the face. It looked a little excessive, right? So there's a couple things. One, the chief did a conference. The sheriff, or so Jackson.
Before you go, do you want me to play the chief what he said, or you want to?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
okay. I'll play that then. I would definitely play that. Oh, where is it? Hold on, people. Hold on. Because I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Here's the chief speaking.
I will neither defend nor commend Officer Bowers' response to resistance until all the facts are known and the investigation is completed. However, as the leader of this agency, I will not remain silent while important facts and information are buried to advance an anti-police agenda. The truth is, William McNeil Jr. was non-compliant with JSO officers within 21 seconds after he was stopped for multiple civil infractions. His non-compliance quickly rose to the level of criminal resistance to a police officer. McNeil was arrested and pled guilty to resisting a police officer without violence. Force absolutely looks ugly. And because all force is ugly, whether or not the officer involved acted within outside JSO policy, that's still what we're investigating. The state attorney's office, once again, has reviewed the case materials and determined that Officer Bowers' actions are not criminal. Now, JSO will conduct a thorough investigation to determine whether Officer Bowers acted appropriately with respect to JSO policy. When an officer does wrong, and I think every one of you know this and everyone that's listening, I will stand up here and tell you straight. And likewise, when officers justifiably use force, I'll stand up here also and I'll tell you straight. I asked
There it is.
So he's pretty much saying based on his statement, that he doesn't think they did anything wrong. And the point I was to make is that, and I think it does make a difference, the sheriff and the undersheriff are black, which, because the first thing people were going to say is they're looking after their own, they're whitewash this or racist cops or whatever. The chief goes on to talk about what he's been stopped in the past as a younger child, as a younger kid and stuff, and dealt with the police, and he didn't have any negative interactions, as well as our last chief, Kurt Budney, of Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, who I deeply respect. He had what made him want to become a police officer. He had a bad interaction with police, and he became a cop, and he was a true cop's cop, and he was a black chief, but he was a go-getter. Like, he would, same thing. Force doesn't look good, but it has to be used. And so this really has just what you can do. What I learned, I also was on one or two sergeants that from the very beginning helped rewrite our response to resistance policy for the entire Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. Part of my responsibilities were I looked at dozens of major cities' use of force policy, and all of them are consistent. Some of the wording's different, but officers are allowed to use not the least amount of. People always get it wrong. They say least amount of force. It's a reasonable amount of force. So depending on we don't have to wait till somebody punches us before we punch them. If someone grabs me, that's an assault. So then I could elevate it to a strike. Sometimes strikes are to decapacitate, so you get control. Sometimes like that smack to the face could be a distraction. I don't know. So and let me make a point too before I get into breaking this down is the media is making a big deal because in the either incident or arrest report, the officer didn't add that he punched in the face. Well, that's irrelevant because as you know, there's three usually in Charlotte in most major metropolitan police departments. There's going to be really 4 reports that when this happens, you're going to have the arrest report, which the only thing the arrest report's going to obtain or have is probable cause, right? So the probable cause, suspect A was stopped for this. In his actions, you don't go into force. I use force. You might have to. We had to use physical force to restrain him.
It's 1 to 4 sentences.
Yeah. So it's just probable cause. So it doesn't surprise me if they use the arrest report and he didn't say that he punched him. He's lying.
You're not supposed to put that in there.
No. So then you have the incident report. So you actually have 2 incident report narratives, right? You have the confidential narrative that is is for the department, as well as their attorney. If they get charged, their attorney could pull the report and see the confidential narrative. And then in the confidential narrative, you're a little more detailed, but still, you don't have to put, I punched him in the face. We had to use physical force. He had to, after a couple strikes, he was taken. It's real vague, right? So in the public narrative, which the most public see is maybe a sentence or 2, right? You're like, suspect was arrested for resisting without violence. And that's a charge in Florida for resisting either with or without. And then whatever it is. Now then you have used force, right? So a use of force would have to be documented, not for the breaking of the window, right? So, and people always ask, will the department have to pay for that? No, they don't.
It's the price of doing business.
They could call risk management, and risk management is going to be like, hey, you were resisting arrest, go pound sand. So the use of force, which is internally, will have the very, very detailed use of force. With my right hand, I broke the glass with my right hand. It was an open hand distraction blow, right? So if he's maybe looking down, pushing his head back to get a distraction before we pull him out. So that's when the officers get very articulate about why they use force and the force they use. So really, wrestling somebody, you don't have to use force. Pointing your gun at someone done at most places don't require use of force. Because if we did where we work, sometimes 5-6 times a day, we got somebody at gunpoint, right? So it's usually strikes or you cause injury, which means maybe you're fighting them and they fall down an embankment and get hit by a car or something. I don't know. But so it's got to be signs of injury or complaining. They say, hey, the officer grabbed me, put me in a wrist lock, and now my wrist hurts. Now you have to conduct a use of force investigation. So that's when all the officers involved, either you have the officers investigated by the department, which would be anybody who used physical force, or the witnesses. So even the witnesses who stand around and do anything, they have to write a statement. So the department will look at that and determine if the use of force was justified. So this has got a lot of people split. So I was looking at a lot of people follow like Dominique Izio. I don't know if you know him.
I know him.
Yeah. So this is, everybody sees him on Instagram. So he's real critical, saying this is proof police are.
But hold on, Step. You know what he did? You know what he did, right? He went off the initial video.
No, yeah.
See, unlike him, you and I, We waited and we wanted all the footage. We didn't react to just what McNeil put out. And I guarantee you, I wonder what Izio is saying now that he's seen full body cam footage.
And that's important. In any of these investigations, you have to, they call it the totality of the circumstance. You have to get everything, right? So they ended up being, they make a big deal. They saying that they didn't see him reach for a knife. And you can't tell by his video that he did that. And I'm not saying he did or didn't. One of the officers said he reached for a knife. But if your hands go down and the knife is in the floorboard, kind of you're reaching, your hands in the
quick.
area.
It's quick.
Yeah, your hands in the area where the knife is, right? So if I'm like this and I reach down and my hands are hanging near a knife.
It's that real quick. Who has the advantage in this situation? Those 5 officers or McNeil in the car?
The suspect.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Because one of the officers called it out. I don't know if they saw it prior, but he had access to a knife. How long does it take to? But basically, this is what we're going to look at. We're going to look at one. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Our pet peeve and these officers' pet peeve is, I don't agree with what happened. I want a supervisor. I'm not doing what you tell me to. You show me. There's no requirement. I don't care if I watched a video the other day where the officer clocked somebody at like 80 and a 55, and the guy was like, "I'm not complaining. You show me the radar. You don't have to show the radar. That's fictional." So there's no requirement. So as petty as it seems, no headlights. So in North Carolina, we have a statute where if your windshield wipers are running, you have to run your headlights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the statute reads in
it
Florida.
said inclement weather.
Inclement weather, you have to run.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that's articulated or anything. But he also didn't have a seatbelt on. Some of the best traffic stops were dopes and guns and stuff. When my unit, when we went places, it was seatbelts. It was a whole little expired tags, improper place tags, tinted windshield, and all this petty stuff that most people never even got a ticket for, but we used it to stop. So I'm leading to a point. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Step, and real quick, I want to go back to Tatum's video. I want to play the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I want to emphasize.
How do they make these people?
Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather.
We can't see it right there, but there's no seatbelt on.
Yeah, that he was charged with no seatbelt.
Right. There's no seatbelt on.
Yeah.
So and when people say he had a seatbelt on the video that he was playing, well, yeah, because he already has shut the door. It was
put it back on.
How quick does it? How long does it take to put your seatbelt back on?
Most people you stop with no seatbelt. When you walk up to the car, they have their seatbelt.
They have the seatbelt on.
Because the first thing they do, oh shit, I gotta be buckled and buckled.
And the car starts swerving because you know what they're doing.
Yeah. So, regardless of what you think of it's a no seatbelt. So, regardless of what you think it is, he still has to comply. You don't get to be like, oh, time out, show me the law and this other stuff. So the suspect initiates the elevation, right? So he's escalating it. Now he seems calm, cool, and collective to a certain point, but he's still being passive resistant. Be like, basically, I'm not until you show me this, I'm not going to comply. So, but let me bring up this point. Okay, just like I said earlier, my unit, I was like on a street crimes unit in Eastway where you and I worked together, and I was over a unit for 6 or 7 years, like that unit. And so the word I'm getting on the street is these guys either had this is hearsay, right? From someone who works at the agency is telling me what they're hearing, right? So that these guys are either street crimes or something equivalent. And either the CI or they had intel, the guy, he had dope in his pocket, right? Marijuana, but he still had dope in his pocket. So that they had either intel or CI saying that he had dope or doing whatever. So once that happens, we don't even, believe it or not, people don't believe this, but in North Carolina, or in any state, the Supreme Court has ruled that we stop people all the time that DEA or somebody wants to identify, and they would have information from a CI, confidential informant, or they call them CRI, confidential reliable informant, that someone's got dope or trying to ID them, and you don't need probable cause for stop. It's reasonable suspicion. So if they have reasonable suspicion of probable cause for stop for, say it's a terrorist, they think he's a terrorist or running on drugs, we could stop them if there's reasonable suspicion, which there, we wouldn't stop them unless we had that, which is easy based on that. And we could tell them we stopped them for their tag came back to whatever. We don't have to tell them the truth. As long as we have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to stop the vehicle, we don't have to tell that person why we stopped them, because I'm not going to stop them. Yeah, the DEA wants you identified because you're running dope. They think you probably got dope in the car right now. They call it a cold stop, where we'll stop them. If they want to do a takedown, we don't stop and walk up to the car. We take them at gunpoint. But a lot of times they want to get them ID'd, play it cool, maybe try to develop some more PC or something for a search. But as long as we have probable cause, reasonable suspicion, we can tell that guy whatever. And a lot of times, so we have we're not going to burn our CI. So we got a CI saying, hey, Sam Smith just picked up some dope. He's supposed to he's got a stolen gun, and he's driving this car. He's driving. So we get behind them, and based on the CRI's information, that gives us probable cause. So if they're deemed a confidential, reliable informant, we could stop them. And yeah, you didn't have your headlights on. So it sounds dumb, but we're not going to tell them, oh yeah, your buddy you just dropped off just flipped on you and said that you got a weapon and dope in your pocket or whatever, right? So between that or we don't know if what kind of history this suspect has, and if the officers are familiar with the history. So if officers are familiar with someone's criminal history, and maybe he has a history of resisting or using force, you could use a higher level of force, right? So if I'm trying to get you on the ground and you're tensing up, I could give you a quick strike or grab your hair or do what I need to do. Just because I tell people all the time, officers are allowed to put a gun in your head and blow your head off in circumstances, right? You're fighting over a gun or whatever.
Yeah.
It's had. So why don't you think we could punch people in the face? We don't have to wait till someone punches us to punch them back. So
the problem is people think that when you use force, it's supposed to be this beautiful choreography, this ballet, this motion picture of slow motion punches and beautiful and all that type of stuff. No, that's not what that is, man. These cops want to go home. This guy is potentially dangerous inside his vehicle, and they've already wasted enough time. You know what? The more I hear you explain, the more I get pissed off, because I'm like, why are we placating to these criminals? Why are we placating to people that don't do the right thing? Why are we getting behind and making hashtags and social justice movements around people that don't deserve it? If this guy right here, and I'm going to play this next clip that pissed me off even more, if
it could have been a different result had he not kept his demeanor.
First of all, I want to thank God for bringing everybody here together, and thank y'all for supporting. That day, I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just scared. And that's it.
Okay, and that's enough, William. Yeah. Thank you.
What a piece of shit. And Benjamin Crump, you're a piece of shit too. You're an ambulance chaser. You're a civil rights ambulance chaser. That's all you are. Absolutely. That's all you are. You know what's funny? McNeil was even too dumb to give a great performance. All that sniffling and fake crying. But guess what? In the first video, his hair was not cut. He wasn't shaped up. He wasn't trimmed. Now you look at this in this press conference, his hair's trimmed. He's lined up. His dreads is up. Like he got on a polo shirt. Like, what are we doing here? You know what, Step? I was going to try to be reasonable and try to be Dr. Prince Blue and try to be all civilized shit. No, I'm sick of this shit. You know why? Because he is the problem why real social injustice is not looked upon. He is the reason why our ancestors in the black community who was sprayed by dogs, who was raped by police officers, who had dog sick, who was beaten, strang, hung, did every type of injustice to them for just wanting to be basic civil human beings, is not getting it. They have been replaced by people like this, by criminals like this. McNeil is not a victim. He's a loser. He's a criminal. He had weed on him. He had a knife in his car. He was driving with a suspended license.
Yeah, his license was
resisted arrest. What are we doing here? You mad about a punch? I would have punched him even more.
You don't get these people that get stopped. They don't have to understand why I'm asking. It's their Supreme Court case. Was it Mims versus whatever, New York or whatever it was? Their Supreme Court case law that says Philadelphia, I think, or Philly, or I don't know, but Pennsylvania, I don't know. But anyway, that we could require anybody anytime a passenger or driver out of the car. So this just builds the thing. Hey, if we're just a street crime stop, we think we got dope. First thing we're gonna do, especially his demeanor with the door open, not rolling down the window. Hey, get out of the vehicle because you're gonna get them out. Make sure you're not having weapons.
He closed the door as a police officer is approaching with tinted windows.
But you don't. There's no defense being like, I didn't understand why he was stopping me, even though they explained it to me. And a defense is like, I'm not going to comply to you, the supervisor, try to understand. And it doesn't matter what the 27 other vehicles driving over. You can only stop one at a time. So if I stop you for speeding and people are like, well, these other cars are speeding, well, guess what? You're the only one I can stop. I can't stop, even though
this is dumb. You know what one of the myths were? That police officers get away with everything. You know what? We do. You know why police officers continue to get away with everything? Because y'all are not good enough. Y'all are not good enough to get us in trouble. You want to put police brutality behind this? That's why police officers get away with everything. That's why the state said he was not guilty. They were not bringing charges on Officer Bowers. And guess what? The chief told you in so many words, we're doing our investigation, but guess what? He's going to be found. He's going to be found to not violate any of our policies either. Guess what? Police are going to continue to get away with stuff if you champion criminals like this.
Yeah, it's that myth of crying wolf, where and people like, oh, there's 2 or 3 officers. It doesn't matter. You and I both. If we just tense up, and you have 2 or 3 guys our side or smaller or bigger, it's hard to get us on the ground. People don't understand that it's hard to take someone who's resisting and have enough force to get on the ground. If you tense up and I can't get to the ground, the policy and the law allows you to escalate it, right? You don't have to wait for 30 seconds.
When they took him out of the car, they said, get on the ground. What was the first word? No.
So this is great because he's verbally saying,
no.
That too. No. Get out of the car. No.
No.
They don't.
No.
So yeah, I think and if you look at the totality, which I know Jacksonville is a little smaller with sworn deputies than we are. We're a little bigger in Charlotte, but I guarantee you, people don't understand. If you should, like, I can say in Charlotte, if that happened, the officers, the major, more than likely, depending on it, I've got ridden up for being in a car chase, finding some armed robbery suspects or shooting suspects, getting behind them, chasing them for 15 minutes at 100 miles per hour. And as we're handcuffing the dude, I asked the guy what the fuck was wrong with him. He almost killed like 27 people, and I got ridden up for a courtesy violation. The guy didn't complain, but so I could say probably in Charlotte and some of these places, you'd get ridden up for calling him an idiot or bro. You call somebody bro like that, they would say that's racist. You'd get hemmed up for stupid shit in Charlotte. But I personally, knowing the totality and knowing what I know, I'm not saying, it just because I think it's going to be justified. It doesn't look pretty, but I think based on, but we don't even know what they knew. We don't know because that's not going to be, they're not what the CI knew or what intel they had. But based on how the primary officers were dressed, they're not regular patrol cops. They're looking for guns, drugs, and dope, drug, guns, and warrants, just like street.
What is the very foundation of their job, though, Step?
Yeah, finding drugs, guns, and warrants. And
it doesn't matter if they were street crime. It don't matter if they was a dare cop. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is they are police officers, and they gave him a lawful order to get out of the vehicle, and he closed the door.
And that alone is resisting. And there's no argument because the Supreme Court case law has already ruled on it. He has to comply. And it's back to these people that posted videos on YouTube. To date, we haven't seen one that work. I'm not doing it. I didn't do anything wrong. I want to supervise and shut the door and roll the window. That doesn't work. Now, it might work in liberal New York or some of these places. I don't know if you watch the news lately. Florida don't play no more, as they say. They don't play. This is like going to South Carolina. We chase people in South Carolina from Charlotte, and we chase them for 30 minutes. We cross that state line on 77, and here comes the state boys pitting them, running them off the road. And we had one from Still Creek ran them off the road, hit a tree, and the car blew up. Like, oh shit!
Because you know what, and you know what's funny? Also, another part of that video when I was watching over and over that I found out when the cops were kind of like yo, like, you know, fist bumping or whatever, like, you know, they was amped up or whatever. They one of the officers was like, hey yo, we're mic'd, and that just shows you how razor thin it is in policing. You just got amped up. You got to stop. You got a guy on the ground and you're amped up and you have to worry about being mic'd up. Why? Because you might fist bump your bro, be like, hey, we got out of that one. We're good. We're going home tonight. We've done it.
We're done it all the time.
You good, bro? You good? Oh man, good shit. Good shit. I'm glad you good.
And then they portray that as we're celebrating because we just punched him in the face and got away with it. We're celebrating.
No, we're celebrating that none of our brothers and sisters are hurt. Which he did end up being hurt. The officer had lacerations because he had to go through the glass.
Yeah, and any time, even though it appeared that, you know, the demeanor of the suspect wasn't violent towards the officer, he was non-compliant. And anytime you got to breach a window and pull somebody, you got a little bit of adrenaline going, right? So, so it's reasonable to, what the fuck's wrong with you or whatever. I don't have a problem with that because I understand how the body works, and I don't have a problem with whatsoever, you know, saying some like you're an idiot, like you just, and he is an idiot because look what now you got charges. You probably would have got a warning and a ticket for your little dope you had in your pocket. Now you got charges, and now your window's broke. You got to go pay for that. Now he pled guilty. This happened.
He pled guilty.
This happened in February. He pled guilty to the resist. So I don't think you can plead guilty and appeal it. So he can't appeal that. But of course, Crump comes in. This video starts making.
Now it's time to make money. That's the only thing. Yeah, and again, I'm glad you brought it up, Steph. This shit happened in February. And he released this video the other day. Why? Because people like Crump is saying they see dollar signs. And I hope they don't get shit. I hope he don't get nothing. William McNeil, you lucky you got away with just a concussion and a busted lip. You are aware that people have died for less, right? So why you keep tempting fate? You know what? I have no sympathy for him. I'm glad this happened. I'm almost like shit. If he would have ended up being a mural or a statue, good, because this is the shit I'm talking about. You know what we just had to do on the last 3 episodes? We just had to give shout out to our brothers and sisters who had endo watches, who are no longer here or no longer going home to their families. Why? Because people like this don't know how to act. They're subhumans, they're animals, they're criminals, and they get the benefit of the doubt. Not the person that has went through a year of background check, 6 months of academy training, another 3 months of training with the field officers, another year of probation, and then whatever other else stuff that they've been through to be a police officer. They don't get the benefit of the doubt. But the dope smoking, knife wielding, driving while license revoked with no lights on, that's dumb enough to close his door to police officer, he gets the benefit of the doubt. He gets the benefit of the doubt. Not you, Step. Not me, not any other police officer in blue gets the benefit of the doubt. But this dumbass, he gets all the benefit and all the support of the world. I am beyond tired. I'm not going to sugarcoat this shit anymore. I don't care about Wilson versus Fisk 1976. I don't care about the Supreme Court. I don't care about none of that. You get a lawful order, you obey it. Fight in court. Live to tell your story. One judge, one jury is going to look at that video and say, why are we here, Mr. McNeil? What he couldn't even articulate how he was feeling. First of all, I like to thank God that this incident brought everybody together. Don't put God in this. God has nothing to do with you being an idiot. You know what God does have something to do with? God grants us this beautiful thing called discernment. You have none. God has nothing to do with you being a jackass and getting arrested. It's funny how God matters when when you think it's in your favor, like you think you're going to get money. And you letting Benjamin Crump lead you and try to make you into George Floyd 1.6 or 2.3 or whatever it is. You're an idiot. Crump's an idiot. All the people that's defending you, McNeil, is an idiot. And I don't care. Call me Coon, call me Uptown, call me Sambo, call me Seller, call me Tap Dance with a White Man. I don't care what you say. But I know what you can call me. I know what you can call me. You could call me and you can call step retired police officers who have done the job and have been in situations like this. And this is bullshit. It's getting worse. You're two arrests from anarchy. People are not listening to police officers anymore. And they're getting jacked up. And I can promise you this. I'm going to end this rant. I can promise you this. You're not going to win. You're not. Out of every quote unquote police brutality, out of 100, there are 99 that were done right. You're not going to win. You're not going to win because guess what? No matter what you think, no matter what you think in the black community, you think that you got all this pull and that people just going to believe you and automatically think that you are a victim. There are far more people that are for law and order and justice than you are for this fake virtue signaling. We shall overcome bullshit. I'm telling you as a black man, I'm telling you as a police officer, I'm telling you as an educator, it's not going to work. You're not going to win. You're just not.
You're right.
It's so dumb, Step. Because you know what I see, Step? I see you and I see other brothers and sisters, especially white officers, out here dying because they're sitting here trying to explain to the worst of the worst why they're under arrest and why they should obey the law and why they should follow orders. Ask, tell, make.
That's it.
That's it.
And these people really think that the officer has to pull up the law and show them. Like, no, like...
Let me go back to my car and get my constitutional right book.
At least the officer's like, hey, well, yeah, we'll show it to you once you get out of the damn car. Like, it, you know, that basically they're trying to get him out. But it's... To your point earlier, this could have escalated based on that knife. If that guy would have been stupid enough to reach down and maybe use to pick the knife up and throw it out the window or something and get shot. So all you gotta do is comply. And people are like, oh, they hate to hear that. Oh, I don't have to tie it roll. Well, that's fine. If the officer's wrong, comply, make a complaint, then you can do your lawsuit and call Benjamin Crump or whoever after the fact. But if you would, you know, they don't care. Benjamin Crump would rather you get shot in the head and your brains still be in the car so they could represent your family. They care more about the money than they don't give a shit about you. He didn't give a Crump didn't care. He'd be like, oh, if he would have got killed, that would have been great. We would have got X amount of dollars. Like they don't give a damn about their clients. They're there to make money. And they love to say God, oh Jesus and God, thank God. I mean, they think it makes them righteous or makes them on the good side. But it's
Step. Let me play this bullshit again. Let me play this bullshit again.
It could have been a different result had he not kept his demeanor.
First of all, I want to thank God for bringing everybody here together.
I know a D student when I see one. I know a D student when I see one. I know a guy that literally, like, you literally remember when you have tables, you have blue, green, red. He will be at the red table. The red table is where the teacher has to physically go to that table and make you put your finger on the paper and read with your finger. I know when somebody reads with their finger. He reads with his finger.
And thank y'all for supporting. That day, I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over.
That day, I wanted to know what I was getting pulled over for. The first video we showed you, well, the second one, the officer walked up and told you why he was pulling you over. He stated his name, his department, and why he was pulling you over. But that wasn't good enough for you, because what did you do? You said no and slammed the door in his face.
Over and why I needed to step out the car when I knew I didn't do nothing.
Because I said so. I said step out of the car. Now, if I'm wrong, guess what's going to happen? Sergeant Step and my department is going to review that tape, and it has happened, not for me, but they're going to say, you were wrong. You had nothing. Let them go, or now we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to write a check. You're going to have a couple of days off, blah, blah, blah. You violated, blah, blah, blah. That's what happens when you just let things play out.
Wrong.
Why are you telling him he doesn't need to take his time because he needs to gather his words. It's because he's slow. He's slow. And there's nothing to get. He knows he was wrong. I am a father. I don't fall for crocodile tears. I don't fall, especially when you're wrong.
I was really just scared.
I was really just scared. Step. There's another one that we always hear why criminals run, why they fight, why they resist, why they don't listen. I was just scared. Guess what? I'm scared if I forget to check the bag. I'm scared if I forget to check the bag and my wife is missing food out of the bag. But I still come home. I just be like, yo, that's my bad. Or I turn around and I go get it.
Well, and that
go ahead, Step.
That argument never gets anywhere with me because, okay, if you're really scared, then you're going to do what we tell you to because you're worried about getting hurt. You don't resist arrest and not comply and then say, oh, I didn't comply because I was scared.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear that scare shit anymore.
No, that's it.
Okay, and that's enough, Ray.
And they're behind praying like in the name of Jesus and stuff. You hear them like speaking.
And that's enough. You heard Ben, and that's all it need to be. That enough.
That's all it is.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this again. Benjamin Crump. My lawyer will not have a lisp. My lawyer will not sound like he just stepped off the Geechee truck and he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. This is what happens when you prop up these social justice attorneys and they're nothing but ambulance chasers. That's all they is. Benjamin Crump is a glorified ambulance chaser. Instead of doing it for accidents, he does it for civil rights, quote unquote, civil rights issues. This is not a civil rights issue. This is a dumbass issue. There is no money in being a dumbass. Well, now you really don't know because it's so political right now. But you know what? I'm so glad that chief sat up there and he said what he said because I already know that Bowers will be back into work. Bowers is coming back to work. And I noticed how they tried to bring up that Bowers has been in another use of force. Breaking news, police officers get into use of forces.
I had hundreds in my 22 years, like involved in uses of force. And the thing that bothers me about this is, you know, it's up to the city county attorney. So they're like CMPDs where they do the sheriff's department and patrol. But their attorneys might pay out. They might pay them $100,000 or whatever. A lot of times they pay out whatever they're insured for. So if they're insured for $500,000, they might pay it out, just make it go away. And which I hope they don't, because they need to stand up and fight this. But they're like, oh, it's easier just to make it go away and pay them, and their insurance will pay them back or however it works.
That's a bad that's just a bad sign.
You're going to encourage people to act like this because they want to let me resist to the point where the officers have to use force. Then I'll cry that I'm a victim. And I could sue, right? And a lot of people look at shit like that, right? They call it the ghetto lottery.
You know what's going to start happening? Step police officers are going to start saying, "Well, shit, if I'm going to get fired or if I'm going to go through the fire, I might as well make it count." And I'm telling y'all, I promise y'all are playing such a dangerous game. It's not even funny. Like, y'all just don't understand. Y'all just don't understand the backing that police have. I'm not advocating that police do whatever they want because they're going to get. I'm just telling you, the way the system is set up, if the law is good, nothing's going to happen to these police officers. Nothing. They offered you Scott Chauvin on a platter. That's it. Nothing else. You're getting nothing else. It has to be totally egregious. I'm talking a cop walks up, tobacco in his mouth, says, "Hey boy, I stopped you because you're black," bust out your windows, drag you out, and beat the hell out of you. It has to literally be that egregious. These police officers, I was going to say real quick, Step, these police are trained to literally go through the steps in their head. That's why he walked up, say, "Hey, I'm such and such of the Jacksonville Police Department. I pulled you over because of this." So when you go into court and you say, when you stand up there, you say, "I just want to know why I was being pulled over." We play the first 30 seconds of the video and we're going to be like, "Well, are you deaf? Were you not listening?"
He told you. You can't say, "I was asking why." No, he told you why he pulled you over. You have to comply. And I heard that some of these people, and I was watching some of these, and I get all lamped up and want to punch people in the face when I watch these news clips of these liberal media. They're like, you know, this one guy was on there, was like supposed to be a law enforcement expert who's never a cop or did anything. He's like, you know, if a civilian did this to another civilian, they would be arrested on the scene. These other officers, they need to be charged because they just stood around and watched him get assaulted. I'm like, well, we don't have the same in most circumstances. We're allowed to do things that other people can't. I remember that was funny, and I was in a bad mood, and it was a nice day outside, and my windows down in my patrol car, and I'm like typing on the computer, pulling up what calls in queue, like probably texting on my phone, and some guy came up to some, you know, wearing a duck head shirt with his collar flipped up. It was like, "Hey, how come you could text and do all this stuff, but we can't?" And I said, "Hey, I could do a lot of things you can't do in this role." It felt so good, but I mean, we're allowed to do certain things because we have to have exceptions to the norm of what we could do. You know, a normal person can't just pull somebody in the car and punch them in the face. You're right; they can't do that, but we can because we're enforcing the law. We're law enforcers. People aren't going to like us who break the law because we're there to enforce the law. So we're allowed to do things statutorily to use force or take people into custody, up to the use of deadly force to get them into custody. So just because somebody doesn't punch up, like if they grab or tense up, we don't know. You know, did he step on an officer's toe? Did he kick him? Did he tense up? Did he grab one of the officers? We don't know the totality of it. But based on what we do know, we could say more than likely, look good or not, and you might have done something different. I might have done something different, but there's a broad spectrum of what you're allowed to do. They've already said it's not a criminal. That the prosecutors looked at it, said they're not going to look at prosecuting officers. And from what the sheriff said, it's going to be a justified use of force. He may end up with a verbal counseling for
the cursing and
stuff
stuff like that. Yeah, a verbal reprimand, but he'll be Officer Bowers will be back on the street. The chief just told you. The black chief just told you. The black chief just told you with the black deputy chief beside him just told you.
And I guarantee you, if Billy Bob with his ACDC wife beater and cut off blue jeans did the same thing would happen to him. It's not because he's
the same thing. We don't see color. We just see you not doing what we told you to do, and now it's time to go hands on.
Believe it or not, you almost get a freebie if it's a white guy. It'd be like, oh yeah, this guy's aware. Oh, he's running. He's a white guy. He's aware one because what is he going to say? You're racist, but you're not doing anything unlawful. But if Billy Bob, I punched many Billy Bobs in the face. I've tased many Billy Bobs. I pointed my gun at, I react the same way to their actions. They get the same reaction from me as they would. I don't look at color. And I don't think most cops do. So
Cops don't give a shit. The only time we look at color,
they're statistically more likely to use force faster on a white person. Was my point than a black dude?
Right, especially now because you're worried.
Yeah, you're worried.
You're worried.
Call me racist or But you punch Billy Bob in the face for resisting, and no one gives a shit. Do you think Crump shows up then to?
No.
Nobody cares. You're Billy
Bob. I got two words for you. I got two words for you. Reginald Dennehy. You know who that is, Step?
Yeah, from the 1986 or 91. When it was Rodney King.
Yep.
Yeah.
But nobody ever talks about Reginald Dennehy. Mm-hmm. They only talk about who?
Rodney King.
Rodney King. There's a lot of Reginald Dennehy out here that's getting their asses whooped. And they're probably looking like, why ain't getting the movement? Why ain't getting a monument? We got to stop this generational hurt shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We got to stop it. I don't know, man.
No, it's frustrating. And so I think Lynn brought it up beginning of the show is cops are tired of this bullshit, dude. Because it's all the time now. All the time. Everybody's everybody stop. Yeah,
this was in February.
Everybody stop. You can't tell me what to do. I want a supervisor. I didn't do this. I want it's just like shut up. Like and so the frustration levels, I mean, it's
like, dude, it's a ticket, it's a citation, it's a warning. You want a supervisor for a warning?
Yeah. And like we said many times, asking for a supervisor is not giving your name and badge number. Other than in California, I think they may have passed it a law, but giving your name and badge number and asking for a supervisor is not a law anywhere in the United States. Usually it's a department policy, but nothing says nothing says, hey, I want a supervisor. And then you got a timeout with stop. That doesn't mean you get timeout and we got to wait an hour for the supervisor to show up to say, oh yeah, our officers can tell you get out of the car. Okay, guys, have it. No, because that gives them time to call people, get people there. No, it didn't pause. You will get a supervisor, but you can do what I tell you to. I'll give you my badge number once you comply and get out of the car. Nothing says I have to give it to you as soon as you ask for it. But hey, so it's I don't know, man. It's frustrating. We'll see how this goes, and I'm surprised a lot of these people were jumping out. And I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, that didn't look good, man. But
right,
like you said, it just that visually 15-second video. I'm like, that looks a lot like he pushed them and then punched them. Like, why? But then you find out the totality of they're showing this much, and there's all this other stuff leading up to it, and
and Izzo should be ashamed of himself. He called us everything in the video. He called it domestic terrorism, and I'm like, dude, like I hope for his sake and his credibility, he really releases a video and says, you know what? Now that I have more information, that's why.
I want to know, but say if you're going to be critical, then say, okay, how should this been handled? Like,
don't just pander. Like, we get it. Everybody wants to say, yeah, I want to expose the bad cops. Yeah, that's cute. But you gotta give a reason why, because otherwise the people that are just looking for blood, they're just gonna say, Officer Izzo believes us. Officer Izzo is down with us. No, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. That's why, Officer Tatum, I don't agree with everything, but the one thing I do agree with him is he's always like, I need to see everything. Like, he didn't release any video until he had everything. He didn't comment on nothing till he had everything. And I think that's what we're missing in society, even with these quote unquote former police influencers who want to make a business out of quote unquote exposing and taking people behind the badge. Like, I'm there, but if you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm not pandering to any damn body. And in the case of this video, those officers did nothing wrong.
No, it's just because, like I said, they didn't handle it the best way they could have. But there's 300 officers would have done 300 different things. So that's why the law allows us to do, as long as it's reasonable. Was it reasonable? Didn't have to be the least amount. Was it reasonable? So, what's their training, what's their experience, what's the time of day, who we're dealing with, and we don't know what they knew going into that.
You know how I'm articulating that first punch? I've been on this scene for 20 damn minutes. This guy openly resisted. He told me no several times. He verbally told me no. There's a knife on the floor. He keeps dropping his hands. I don't know where his hands is. Due to my training experience, it doesn't take long for him to grab the knife and hurt me and other officers and then put me in imminent danger. And therefore, I struck him with a closed fist to comply.
Well, the strike inside the vehicle was just more like a push, trying to get a distraction blow or get his head back or whatever. So we don't know how many videos we've seen like this, and I'm sure these officers that someone's doing that and they come out with a gun and shoot the officer in the face. So there's nothing wrong with like a distraction blow. It's not a closed fist. It's more like a stiff arm or push trying to whatever. So just because it doesn't look good doesn't mean it's bad. Just because this officer Renzo, who was had 18 years old, I googled his department. It was like a 6,000 per town. It had 6,000 township or something. It had like 6,000 people in it. Not to say that cops in small town don't do anything, but how many times, bigger cities deal with this all the time. And but. Don't be so critical. We're the first ones. We caught out many police officers. A lot. They're wrong. But let's find out everything, because there's so much more that goes into it than just.
And I can't wait, since it happened in fucking February. But thank you everybody for coming through. I appreciate everybody. This has been a blood pressure inducing episode. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, subscribe, and share Black and Blue Lives podcast, and make sure you check me out at Real Prince Blue and across all social platforms. He will be Step. You see it right there. In Step 2223.
I'm going to get him
TikTok,
consistent one day.
TOG 4280. Listen, I'm going to leave y'all with this. If you get pulled over by a police officer, which I have been pulled over by a police officer since I've been retired,
me too.
Do what the police officer tells you to do. Do what the police officer tells you to do. If you feel like your rights and everything was violated, call Crump, call JG Wetworth, call whoever the fuck you want to call after you get released, or hell, make the phone calls from jail. I don't care. But what you don't want to do is get in a piss and vinegar match with police officers. You're going to lose. And if you win, you're going to lose, because guess what? You're going to be marked. I just can't. I can't put it any more simpler than that. Do what the police officers tell you to do. If I, a retired police officer who gets pulled over, have to comply with police officers, who the hell do you think you are that you don't have to do it?
Yeah. Yep.
Do it.
Swallow your pride. We have to do it. Some rookie officer stopped me not too long ago and didn't know what the hell I was talking about. But yes, sir, you're right. Like, you went along with it. And
you went along with it and do what you got to do.
As soon as you start arguing, things doesn't work out for you.
That is it. So we'll catch y'all on the next episode. Hopefully my blood pressure will be down by then. And well, I wanted this to be a fun episode, but I guess we'll save that for next week unless something else comes across the flowers and hinges. So with Black and Blue Lives, we will catch y'all next week. Everybody be safe. We are out. See ya.
Yeah. Look, Black and Blue Lives. Yeah. Hey, that's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, Black and Blue Lives. Yeah. Hey, that's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, podcast lit. I think we got a hit. Yeah. Hey, Black and Blue Lives. Yeah. Look, we got Prince Blue and Steph talking Black and Blue Lives. Yeah. The Black and Blue Lives. Yeah. It's Steph and Blue